Hey guys, Chris here from Kite Republic, here today to talk you through the 2026 Duotone Unit wing range. So the units have been known for their epic all-round, free-ride, playful performance that you can use for everything and have a really balanced in-hand wing that's not going to nosedive, it's going to go out behind you beautifully, and as well as that, you can throw it around and get some really good performance out of it. With 3 different levels of performance, you can find what you're after, from budget and great performance through until the highest end of speed, spins, everything else. So we're going to talk you through the standard Duotone unit, or the original, the Unit SLS, which for us in the shop, that's been our biggest seller for the last couple of years. And then there is the Duotone Unit Dlab. They're absolute state-of-the-art. Everything goes into it for 100% performance. There is a bit of a price tag that goes with that as well. Let's talk through some of the changes for 2026 to start with. You'll see the windows have changed slightly from what we've seen. Again, they're always after the most vision with the least amount of change from that Mod 3S material that they've been using there. I would say, without a doubt, the biggest change this year, and in terms of feel, for the 2026, when you're pumping it, you're finding it's a much more even and a much better lift that you're getting. You've got a slightly deeper stroke, it feels like, and where all that comes from is the draft itself doesn't necessarily get any higher, so we're not getting that knucklier, slower sort of feeling in the draft. However, the draft holds right through to a much wider point in the canopy now, whereas previously you had the draft coming through here, so that bit coming through there, and it really petered off like very early on. We're holding that now, so we've got a much straighter line of power, so that when you're pumping it, you're getting a much better lift and projections through that as well. So that's been the major change in terms of canopy shape. As per 2025, with the Fusion, boom or handle is the option. So when you're actually purchasing the wing, you get it without any of the handle or boom, and then you make that choice. Am I a handles person or a boom person? We're definitely finding that booms are becoming more and more popular each year. Just that pure ability to be able to move along it, hold anywhere, grab anywhere, and not have those gaps. It just gives you the ultimate freedom through there. So that's been really popular. The downside of them, obviously, is that they only pack up to be that small. So if you're a traveler or you're wanting that bag to fit in the car differently to the length of the boom, then the handles give you that extra fold point through here, and effectively the bag can be that size as opposed to that size. So I'd say ultimate performance, you're probably getting out of the boom, ultimate flexibility for travel and the rest. The handles have a really good case there. You'll see for 2026, the draft itself is held really well through the panel systems and shaping there. It no longer has that material that attaches onto the back of it there. So again, I guess a bit of weight loss, a bit of showing that, you don't need to cheat with this as well. We can do this beautifully without. There's actually no panel where where under that strut there. You'll also see a really nice tension through the canopy. However, we get to the bottom here, and these small, softer buttons, they allow a little bit of a little bit less leech tension as well. So the back of it needs to have that bit of give, so that it can really put into play all the rest of it without it siphoning straight out. So you'll see for 2026, look, the actual tension through the canopy is fantastic, and we still have that bit of breath through the back here, so it's not too much tension through the trailing edge. We've got just enough to be able to really get the most out of that wing. One thing I absolutely love about the unit line, also Duotone's float wing as well for specific surfers, is that surf handle is a really big, really good bit of tension through there. You can move the wing while you're out there and still maintain complete control of it when you're out on that handle. It's not that soft one, and it's big enough so that when you're actually going from fully powered down to here, you're never having a problem holding it. It's not too small. You're not getting sore knuckles or anything, because that panel that they've got underneath there is spot on. All the minor details have been thought of, and the wing itself is absolutely fantastic. I'd say comparing the feel of the Unit 25 to 26, I find the 26 has a much more even power, especially on the pump up. I found with 25, to me, it felt like there was more tension through it, and it was much shorter, sharper sort of pumps, whereas I find I've got a little bit more range and I can get a bit more out of it for the 2026. Both were absolutely fantastic out on the surf handle. Both feel really good maneuverability-wise. I find it's just 26 is a little bit of a cleaner feel in terms of it's just a slightly more even power all of the time. And you feel like, as I said, you've just got that bit more range in terms of getting up and riding. So if we talk about the differences from the original to the SLS to the Dlab, firstly, in terms of materials, all three of them use Duotone's Mod 3S material. So Duotone were the first brand to come up with a wing-specific canopy material. So before that, everyone was using Kite material, which worked to a degree, but had different stretch properties, different lasting properties for the different ways that it's being used. And so they came up with the Mod 3, and now we've moved to the Mod 3S to cut back in weight, but still maintain those qualities that we want for a wing. So all three of the canopies have that. When we move to the leading edge, this is where they all differ. So first, the original has a dacron part through the middle and then a slightly lighter dacron through the rest of it. So dacron is known for its durability and reliability. This is the material that's been used on kites since the beginning of time, basically. Very easy to work with. Sailmakers love it if you manage to damage your wings at all. But also, with that, it is quite a durable material. What we're missing from this that the higher end materials we're about to step to have is as soon as we move up and we move to an Alula through here, we'll find that we can pump it up tighter, and therefore we have the ability to actually make the wing thinner, and it's still going to maintain stiffer properties as well, so you get higher performance. So the original is absolutely brilliant for pretty much anyone. It's a great, reliable, and nice cost-effective wing. So great way to get into a brilliant brand with a wing that you can do everything with. Now, what we do now is if we step that up to the SLS model, we'll notice that the leading edge itself is actually a bit thinner than what we saw for the original. And that's through, we have the Penta TX material, so the Penta TX canopy material through here, which is, again, a slightly stiffer material, holds a bit more pressure. And then we move into the Alula, which currently Alula is seen as the absolute top end when it comes to stiffness, performance, and the ability to hold a lot of tension with strength. So we'll move that one down there. Now, so for the SLS, and this is Duotone's most popular wing, we have the Alula Gold L1 through here. And what that does is it really stiffens up the center of the wing. So the wing doesn't change as much. Every little movement goes into efficiency or performance, as opposed to having those little bits of extra movement that a softer material would have. And then, yeah, the Penta TX is just a great, lightweight, high-quality dacron material. So when we step up from the SLS and we move up to the Dlab, or the absolute cream of the crop, pure performance model, we step into Alula right through that leading edge. And then when we do that, it allows us once again to come a little bit thinner with the wing. So that makes everything move a little bit quicker through the sky, to hold more power, to not have as much flexion in the air, but you're getting pure performance for each one. And that's why if you see most people that are racing, that are out there throwing all sorts of different jumps, tricks, spins, all of that sort of thing, they're generally either on an SLS or they've stepped right up to, especially the racing side, to that Alula. So that just gives them the absolute, best performance you can get out of a wing. So if you're after an incredible wing that works as a great all-rounder, from getting out there surfing and being playful to learning with plenty of power for size, super easy to use, not too wide but still maintaining incredible efficiency, wanting something that you're not going to really burn out a front arm or anything, but you're after something quite balanced, right through to someone doing freestyle, flips, tricks, all of that, then the Unit is your wing. 3 different levels. The original, brilliant for value for money, incredible durability, reliability, just that Dacron style, slightly thicker leading edge, means it's not quite as fast upwind or as rockety as the SLS or the Dlab, but is a really good wing for a huge amount of different riders. The SLS, so in this awesome sand graphic, probably the most sold wing worldwide. That incredible balance of huge amounts of performance with really good reliability, a nice lightweight wing. Going from the original up to the SLS, you'll obviously be able to have longer sessions. You're not going to get quite as tired. The weight's quite a difference. And then obviously the performance and ability to rocket upwind with all those slightly, less leading edge, etc. Brilliant. And then if you want the best of the best, then you've got to jump all the way up to the Dlab there. So a bit of a price point on that, but well worth it in terms of performance if that's what you're after. With that full Alula setup, it's very tough to beat for a huge range of different uses there. That's the Units. Guys, if you would like to set yourself up with a demo for any of these, or just chat foiling in general, then hit us up at kiterepublic.com.au. Cheers.